Hi, guys. Welcome to Hear Me Out. This is episode 6, and we are so excited to be with you guys today. Today's topic is all about social media. And we're going to talk about the effects of social media, how does social media impact your life, all of it. And so to start off, I want to ask the very famous question. Do you have social media?
I do. I think I still have Facebook. Yeah, I should have because I use messengers with my family. So I have Facebook. I have Instagram. I have not just kidding.
Here's my username.
Here's my username. Please show some love.
DM me.
DM me for any questions. I have. I've never had Twitter though. I think I've had any other. I have Snapchat. I have. Is there more?
Oh, of course, there's more. There's TikTok.
I don't have a TikTok. I used to have a Tumblr years ago.
Tumblr was that like there was only a specific kind of group of people that had Tumblr.
This specific kind.
K-pop, fan fiction, fan groups.
Tumblr back in my day, it was fun until it wasn't. And right now, I haven't even touched that area of the internet, so I don't know what it is now. I've heard that it still has that reputation, but back in my day, especially because I used to like K-pop, and I used to be a hardcore fan of K-pop. I mean, so yes, it was fun for me. Tumblr was, I spent days on that. Times, hours, but now where I waste my time is Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. YouTube now.
YouTube, yeah. What about you?
For me,
because I think you have a couple.
No, I mean I have Instagram. I did have a TikTok for a little bit, but I couldn't I couldn't keep it rather because it just was like I had no life. Not that I'm like better now, but it was really, really, really addicting for me. I have Snapchat, but only because they have this like Daily Mail like news kind of articles or whatever. It's not even real news. It's just like trash news, and I honestly keep it for that, and because all my snaps are there, and I haven't found a way to like extract everything.
If you know of a way, please let us
know. Cause
I also have a Snapchat, but
that's honestly all I use it. So don't add me on Snapchat because I will never respond. And then I have YouTube, which I do use more frequently because I like to make videos aside from this. And then, never had a Twitter. I had Facebook for a little while, and then I completely got rid of it.
Did you say you had Instagram?
I just have Instagram. Basically right now, yeah. If we're talking about where you're most impacted or where you waste most of your time, it's Instagram.
What about MySpace? Did you have MySpace back in the day?
Funny story. I actually, back in the days, in the early stages of social media, churches took a very different approach to social media.
Okay.
And so there were some leaders in the churches that felt very strongly against having social media. And I remember that my friend at the time, she made me a MySpace. And so she had my username, she had my login and everything. I think I logged in once and it crashed my dad's computer. That's how old my dad's computer was and how new the software was or whatever. But I remember having a very serious conversation with a leader who shall remain nameless, who was lecturing me on why I shouldn't have a MySpace, and I think I was 12 or 13, and it was actually his daughter that had made it for me. So I did have MySpace technically for a minute, and then that was it. So
I had MySpace when it came out. I've never been tech savvy. Never. And I mean, till this day, I still Instagram comes out with updates, and
I hate it. I hate when they update it.
And to me, it's I
just figured this out.
Yeah, I just figured last year's updates. What am I gonna do with this? So MySpace was one of those places where
Your space.
No. I liked it because you could have your music, like your.
Oh, okay.
You had a space where you had like your list
Like
of
your
your
top
songs,
song.
of your songs, and then you had a picture. I mean, I'm talking about way too long ago, and that's where my cousins and we would post really random pictures. I mean, we were 16, very, very, we were very young. And I think I had it for like a year. And then after that, I don't know what happened.
You moved on probably to Facebook.
I
like
moved
most
on to
people.
Facebook. Yes, I think so. So yes, so.
Were you ever like against getting into social media when it was first starting? Or were you always like, yeah, I'm going to try this, or didn't think much of it?
I think, like you said, I think Facebook was a smooth transition because it was just from MySpace to Facebook. And it was the new thing, Facebook. But I don't think I really used it to its potential, like how people used it now. I mean, I remember some posts where I'm like, oh, I cringe whenever I think of some things that I posted.
Like those, click on this and you'll have like $1 million.
No, like things that I thought were inspirational.
Oh, okay. Inspirational quotes.
But I came up with them.
Oh my God, you'd make your own memes?
Yeah, no, I would come up with my own, like, oh, this is life, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's so cringe.
Oh, you're talking about your posts, like on your wall.
Yeah, on my wall.
God.
Yeah, on my wall. And I don't know, for some reason, I thought I had a lot to say, and that was important. And so, I cringe every time. And believe it or not, I tried to go back into those posts and delete them. And some I could, but some, for some reason, it won't let me. It's so weird. And it's like they want you to remember how cringe you were. But anyway, but I think with Instagram, it was one of those things where a lot of people started having it. And I'm like, and I think it started out of curiosity.
Yeah.
So, let's just do it, whatever. Again, it was at the very stages and it was fun. But after a while, everyone has it. And then it's just like, and then now I think Instagram is the new way of communicating. So it's like you have to have it.
Yeah.
Twitter was one of those that I'm not going to get it. Not gonna give in. TikTok, same thing. It was one of those things. Nope. I'm not going to go in there.
It's funny. I always told myself, like, I'm never going to get a Twitter because I feel like Twitter's for celebrities, like, that are tweeting, right? Like, what's happening or whatever.
Right.
But then if I go to my Facebook, there I still have posts and stuff. And I'm like, I'm practically acting like if I was a celebrity, like, I went here, and I did this. And, like, I'm currently eating cereal. Like, there's just, like, and then, like, It's interesting when you know what you say, like, it's like maybe social media wants to remind you how cringe you were. It's interesting having social media when you're really young and you don't realize like how you are acting at this stage in your life, and then when you have social media as an adult, and who knows how I'm gonna feel like when I'm 30 and I'm like, oh my God, Kez, like, why'd you post that? But like at the time, I feel like I was very like, I wanted to post every little detail to the point where I was like checking in to like a restaurant or something. And then I was using it as like my Bible study. So like I'd post like these really long, like Bible studies, which I mean, it sounds good and all, but like, I feel like I would have a verse as the picture, and then I'd have this huge like study, or I'd be like, like, I think I had something like Friday in the Word, so like I had this whole like thing. And then like just a lot of videos that I'm like, oh, like you probably shouldn't have posted all these videos. And then there's the selfies. It's the profile pictures. It's the duck lips. It's the coffee pot, like teapot, whatever, like pose. Like, oh, those things are just, it's just.
Yeah. I still have pictures in there that I'm like, and I've tried to erase some, and then there it gets to a point where I'm like, I'm tired.
I'm not going to go through
all of them, so whatever. If you're that curious to go and check out how ugly I was or how cringe I was, go do that. I don't mind.
So for Instagram now, as an adult, how do you think it affects your day. Do you think Instagram is a big part of your day, a small part of your day?
Man, I would like to say that it's a small part of my day, but no, it's a big part of my day. We send each other memes all the time. And
are you friends with someone? Are you really close friends with someone? If you're sitting right next to them and you're sending memes to each other and all you're doing is like, oh, I'm going to send you this one. Hold on. And like, that's all you do for like 5 minutes. Are you even close?
can you even call each other friends? Can you even call yourselves each?
Yeah.
Hasta el inglés me falló. But yes, I do spend a lot of time on Instagram. I would admit, I get home from work and it's like, let me see, and then I have an Instagram. I have a chat, right, with just my sisters, and so all day memes, and then I get home and it's like, okay, I need to catch up, and then there goes 2 hours, almost 3 hours, you know, and sometimes we send each other. Sometimes I feel that she doesn't watch any single of my memes.
I do. I don't respond.
But I'm sure you. Okay. But then there are times where I send her like 20, and I'm thinking, I don't know if she saw them or not. But she keeps me sending like another 5, and it's just a back and forth thing, and so that's like and then don't get me started now that they have those. Because I think that's a new thing. That's a new thing of, well, not a new. It's probably been a couple of years, but where they have videos, like short videos.
The reels.
The reels, yeah. And then I just spent a lot of time on those.
Scrolling.
Yeah. I think a couple of years ago, it was just mainly posts. They were posts. But now they're reels. And it's just like, that sounds funny. And then people are just getting creative and more creative. And it's like, you know, you send the ones that are, oh, this one made me laugh out loud, or this one was just too sad, or this one was just,
and it's funny that you said that, because I was just gonna ask, like, have you ever paid attention? Like, obviously you're doing something actively right now, but have you ever been actively watching something, but then your subconscious is keeping track of your face expressions? Because that's happened to me. Like, it almost feels like an out of body experience, that I'm like going through a reel and I'm like, and then I'm like, and then I'm like crying, and then like I feel like my subconscious is like, you're allowing your brain to feel emotions in really short period of time, so quickly, and then I'm like, oh my god, like this, and then I put it down and I'm just like, I don't know if that's just me.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yes, like you switch from one emotion to a very drastic. Yes. To a very drastic one.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that, definitely that's happened to me. To the point that it makes you feel like, oh my god, was it all fake? Is this too easy? Is it that easy to be laughing? And then out of you know, on the next minute, be feeling this tug at your heart.
Yeah.
Because what you're watching is just so sad or so touching. So yeah, I've had that situation before, and it's gnarly. It's a very bizarre situation, because it makes you wonder how, like, your emotion. Because, you know, one thing is, I think maybe we need to research about it, but because one thing is your attention span, and I know that's getting shorter, even for children. Their attention span is just very short.
Yeah.
Right now, you know, people. Yeah, we have a very, because we're into quick gratification, so we want, you know, what's quick, what's fast. But I feel like we're starting to have an emotional
yes, like you can't handle an emotion for a long time.
Like an emotional span as well, because because of what you're saying, you could be laughing one moment and then crying the next, or feeling touched by a very touching or a very emotional video. Well, 2 minutes ago you were laughing hysterically. Yeah, I have those.
And wheezing.
Yeah. Another part of social media is, I think, the inevitable comparison we make with them.
Yeah.
So how have you experienced it? And if so, how have you dealt with it?
I've never compared my body, and I always think that that's like kind of a blessing in a way. I also think there's an algorithm to that. I think that your what you search has a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I have heard people who have a lot of like body or self image issues or something like that. have a lot to do with like, well, I'm already looking up content of like girls with like these nice bodies or like working out, and like you see my algorithm and it's like food or it's like so like, okay, maybe it's like image issues in the other way, but like I've never compared myself when it comes to my body, but I do think that there is this subconscious comparison to what a perfect relationship looks like, or what you being happy looks like. And so I think that that's definitely something that like when I was single, it was even more of, I would say, kind of like a problem, because obviously like I remember there was this, I told you about this, there was this like one season where like everyone on Instagram like was posting when they would get into a relationship,
right,
a black and white picture where like the couple is like slightly looking to the side, or they're like, you just see the profile of the guy or the girl, or they're holding hands. Like, it's just the hands. And then it has a caption that's like, big things ahead, or like
new season,
or like finally, happy, or so, like it had something along those lines. And so obviously everyone in the comments is like, oh my God, you're in a relationship. Oh my God, congratulations, all of these things, right? And so for me, especially when I was single, I had a hard time being single. It was not easy for me. I always wanted to be in a relationship. I always wanted to be loved. So yeah, definitely when I was on Instagram, it was like, that's what I want. Like, I want to be in a relationship with someone, and I want to put my black and white photo and my,
my
really
unscripted
cringe
message
caption that I didn't script overnight, so like that definitely was, I think, damaging. And I think that when you get stuck on that, it's definitely like, do you even really want to be in a relationship, or you just want to do it for Instagram? And that goes with everything. Like, could you really say that you enjoyed yourself, or did you just do it for the gram? Like, we all say that, like, oh, just for the gram, or just for the TikTok, or whatever, just for YouTube. Like, you're not really enjoying an experience. You're doing it for Instagram. Now, obviously, like, because I have been on social media for a very long time, like, I think I have a lot more awareness now. But no, I wouldn't be able to like say there haven't been moments where like, I love this story, and I'm going to throw my husband under the bus. So like, I remember like when we first got married, like I saw like a lot of people like posting of like what they got for Valentine's Day or something like that. And this is now me as an adult. This is me married. This is me mature, right? I don't compare myself on Instagram. Like, that's not a thing.
You're already married.
I'm already married. I already got my guy, right? My black and white caption. So like, I'm already here, right? But I remember seeing, people are like, oh my God, he got me flowers. And oh my God, he got me the exact like whatever that I wanted. And you're like, oh, and if you know my husband, but the kind of person that he is that he's an amazing husband, amazing. But he's the kind of person that's like, I am romantic spontaneously. I'm not romantic because I have to. But for me, it's like, I don't remember the Tuesday you got me flowers. For me, it's like, and that sucks because I have such a terrible memory. But like, he could have bought me these beautiful, nice roses on a Tuesday. I'm like, oh my God, how sweet, how nice, But then it's Valentine's Day and it's like, I didn't get any flowers, and I'm just like, what happened? And for him, it's like, I got you flowers last week. Like how is that not like, that it doesn't count in a way? So I remember this one year, or last year technically, where I came home and like, I was expecting flowers, I was expecting chocolates, I was expecting candles and everything. And mind you, I'm a mini toxica, so I'm, Joel is like, hey, what are we gonna do for Valentine's Day? And I'm like, nothing, babe, we need to save money, and it's okay, I'm not high maintenance, and I don't expect much, and you don't even have to get me flowers, and it's okay, like, it's totally fine. When you are married to a practical person, they translate that as, okay, then she doesn't want anything, And so I come from, it was a very busy day from work, and I'm drained, and I'm dealing with a lot of emotions, and unfortunately I've already created an expectation, and then I've seen everyone's life on Instagram and what their husbands got there and got them, and internally I'm like, well, my husband is great too, you know, who knows what he has, you know, packed for me. And I get there, there's nothing. As a matter of fact, I got the takeout because Joel was like, you know, do you want me to pick it up? And I had said, no, I'll go get it. Because in my head, I'm like, I'll just give him more time. I'll give him more time to, like, you know, set up this, you know, whatever he's setting up in the house and, you know, whatever. So, like, I put the catering or the takeout on the table, and I'm like,
looking for
and I'm just kind of like
velvety,
opening
box.
maybe he put it in the bathroom. You know, he's like, so how's your day, honey? And he's opening the bags, and I'm just like, oh my God, like there's nothing. And I literally was like, good, it's good. You know what, I'm not really hungry. I'm not really hungry. He's like, really? And I'm like, no, actually just save it for me. I'm just gonna go upstairs. I really want to lie down. I just want to, you know, like, I'm just so tired. He's like, really? All right, baby. Yeah, go ahead. Like, just lie down. Don't do anything. You know, like, I already washed the dishes. You know, the house is clean. I'm like, yeah. Open the door. There's nothing in here either. And I just bawled. And Joel was just like, you know, I think I hear crying, you know? So he goes upstairs. He's like, what is going on? You know, like, you didn't buy me flowers. You didn't buy me chocolates. Like, I know I said I didn't want anything, but, like, come on. Like, so-and-so's husband is not even that great, and he bought her flowers, you know? So obviously, you know, that, you know, this is my immaturity. This is my, you know, own personal need for growth.
Her toxica
speaking, you know? But this is only, like, it's a minor example of, like, how, you know, what was just a 15-second snap of your day, you know, whoever that person was in that moment, you know, it built an expectation internally. And obviously this is a me problem. This isn't a them, you know. I'm not saying here, like, no one
Stop
should post,
posting. Yeah.
you know, if something good happens. This is obviously, like, I need awareness. I need to know myself, and I need to communicate, you know, like, I want flowers for Valentine's Day. But, like, to me, it's like, that's what happens, you know, like, and that's me in this stage, you know? So yes, I definitely think I struggle with comparing, but I think it's helped me to own up to it and kind of be like, all right, it was, the source of it had some part in Instagram and what I saw. But I like you, like, where would you see that before?
Yeah, no, definitely. As a single person, I feel like, for me, I see it in two areas of my life. I see it in relationships, and I see it in career-wise. I have a lot of friends that are, you know, they're doing their masters, they're doing their PhDs, they, you know, and I see them post pictures, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, they're going the extra mile, and it makes me wonder if I should do that. And to be honest, education is fine and all, and maybe later on we can talk about education and giving it a space for that. But to me, I unless I'm really, really passionate about being a therapist, and right now I can't say I am, I don't see myself going back to school. So, but however, when I see these friends, you know, getting their PhDs, their masters, or getting ascended in jobs because they got, you know, they went for the credentials.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, should I go? Should I go back? Is that something that should be next in my life? Not that I want it, not that that's a passion, but it's sort of like
a pressure.
Yeah, like a pressure. Like, well, so and so did it, and look where they're at, you know. And so it makes me wonder, because I know I have it in me. I know I can go for a PhD. I know I can do a master's, but it's just one of those things where that's not. I can't see myself to go back to school and enjoy it, you know. And so. But then again, what do you read? You know, there are things in life you need to do regardless of whether you enjoy them or not. So I feel like a little pressure in there, you know, because I have a lot of friends that they've pushed other things to the side and they've really focused on career, and they're doing amazing. They're doing great things. They're traveling. They're spending the money, todo eso. Entonces that does bring a level of, should I do it? And really purely it would be just for money. It wouldn't be for anything else. It would be just for money. And I don't think that's to me, that I don't think that's a great reason to go back to school for. Because I also don't want to be chasing the money. I don't want to be. To me, that's not I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna end up my life, but I don't think on my last day I'll wish to work more, or I'll wish to earn more.
Yeah.
I think on my last day I'm probably gonna wish to have spent more time with people I love, with my kids, to spend more time with kids, my family. And that one brings me back to the other area where I feel pressure in social media is relationships. When I don't have, okay, so my Instagram is made up of two types of people: the people that are out there doing great things with their careers, and the people that are out there doing great things with their families. And so it's like so I have friends like you that are either starting a marriage, or they've been recently married, or I have friends that they've started having kids because they've been married, or and so that is a pressuring for me. That is pressuring for me. Aside from the fact that I'm 28, I feel like overall society already sees me as like the leftover goods, in a way. And again, I want to sneeze, but I can't. And so I think I do feel pressure in that sense. I do feel pressure of I want to experience a relationship. I want to, I've never had a boyfriend, so I think
you just exposed yourself.
I just exposed myself, and so yes, I think it's a human necessity. It's a human need. God created us for us to be with someone else, for us to not be by ourselves. So I do think I yearn for that. I yearn for a relationship. And then seeing people living their best married lives, or their best lives with kids, it just adds to that desire. It adds fuel to that desire, but not being met. You know, that desire of I want it, but it's not tangible. It's not happening. I don't see it happening. So it's like, God, a qué hora? But I thank God that even when I'm feeling like that, I don't find myself desperate enough to like, okay,
I'm going to do it no matter what.
Yeah, online dating. And, and I guess I'm at a point where it's like, okay, Dios tiene su tiempo, and I know he's working even if I don't feel it, even if I don't see it, I know he's working with that. So if I leave that on his hands, then I'll eventually, I'll be in a relationship that God intended for me to be in that relationship. Obviously, that doesn't mean that I'm just going to sit there and wait for, Prince Charming to land.
Be proactive.
To land on my feet. I am proactive. I've been trying to put myself out there. I've been trying to, I've been trying to...
Her number is 555.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've been trying to enjoy having more fun with single friends, and I've been going to a lot of events with the girls from church, and I think they've been fun. They haven't been very successful because they're very young people there, and I feel like I'm old, or older, and so I don't quite click a lot of the times, but they're fun. They're really fun. It's fun to me to see other guys, trying to woo the girls I'm with. So it's like, okay, that's cute or whatever. But that's definitely a part of social media that is just, on one end, I have on both ends, I have an existential crisis. Like often I have existential crisis of like, what am I here for? What do I do with my life? How should I give back to community? And I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy my work at church the way that I do, because it makes me feel that I'm giving back. Yeah. It makes me feel that I'm working towards a cause. It gives me purpose. And sure, some people would say, well, it's your job, you're still getting paid. Yes, I am. And yes, it is my job. But I don't know. I feel like it's rewarding to know that behind big projects or behind big events, it was us who were there putting some work to serve people, to serve our members, to serve the community. And so that gives me purpose. And in that sense, sometimes when I have those existential crises, that's how I come back with it. That's I'm like, okay, but I've done this or I do this. I'm trying to, better myself here and better myself there.
And I think that's a great way to like combat the comparison, because I think that, you said it right now. It's like, well, this is where they're at, right? And where they're at is like debatable, because I think on Instagram we really do a good job of portraying what the best life looks like, but it's like, what is the best life, and I think I've learned more of this more than ever, that what you put out on Instagram does not necessarily equal to the truth of how your life is going. How many times haven't we seen like a couple break up or even get a divorce, and you see their Instagram and it's like they were always out together, they were having dinners, they were lovey-dovey, or all whatever it is that they had put out there, and you're like, how did that even happen? Or I've also like heard or had interactions with like someone on Instagram that they seem a certain way, they're very sweet, kind, humble, whatever you want to say about him or her, and then you have an interaction and you're like,
that would be me.
You portray yourself in a certain way, but it's a very different reality, right? And so I think that that's the problem. The problem is we have to be aware that people's best lives or people's timeline isn't exactly reality. It's not the truth. Now, I don't think that there's anything wrong with posting a picture, or with posting your trip, or if you want to post your french fries, if you want to post your couple, whatever. Like I don't think, I'm not going to be the advocate for saying that you shouldn't do that, although if you are heavily photoshopping, heavily filters, that may be an issue that you should be upfront with. But I do think that when you are now allowing for your life to be dictated because of what someone else is posting, I do think that you have to come to terms with that's not real. And I put myself out there. I put, my example out there. I was forgetting and maybe even invalidating all the wonderful times that my husband has been an amazing husband or a romantic husband, because in this moment he didn't come through because I saw someone else's husband come through. Now, I don't know how their husband is in the privacy of their home on daily, right? He could be verbally abusive, he could be rude, he could be ignoring her. I mean, for all we know, that there could be those people out there that are like, babe, just smile just for the picture, right? And or I bought myself my flowers and I said that he bought it. You really don't know someone else's marriage, relationship, career, even their parenting. Like I've seen so many Instagram accounts that like all about parenting, and this is what I cook for my kid in a day, and then you have
another pressure.
You have I love the ones where there's two, like you have the like expectation, right? And she's like, this is what I cook for my husband or for my kid in the day, and it's like these cucumber stars or whatever, and everything is perfect. And then you have the second mom that's just like Doritos, Capri Sun, Lunchables, and I love those because it's like that is real, and I think that that's what we have to come to terms with. It's like, I don't think that social media is necessarily like damaging, but it is if you allow it to be damaging, So how do you like cope with the moments that you're like having bad days, or you're comparing? Like, how do you get out of that in a sense?
The way I do it is that I remind myself that a lot of the times it's manufactured reality. And because I've done it too. I've posted pictures where that's not my skin, like that's not my skin, does not look that flawless. Or I've
my character.
Yeah. Or I've posted pictures where I used filters. And and I hope people see that
I look this shiny.
Or I look, like I don't have smile lines or whatever. That's not true. So just as much as I'm putting the work, I know that other people put in the work as well. So I think I try to remind myself that it's a manufactured reality a lot of the times. Not all the times. I think like you said, I agree. I mean, I post things too. I post I want to share with my loved ones what we're doing, how we're, where we're going or where I'm going and things like that. So I agree. That's, I think, and definitely it's a me problem, right?
Yeah.
It's how I take that situation, how I take their success, and how I let that pressure me on. Don't let that pressure me. So that the way I deal with it is, I remind myself that it could be manufactured, and I think about it. I think, okay, let's just say I do go for my career. Would that make me? I wouldn't say happy, but is that going to be a life that I'll be proud of at the end of the day if I go and do that? Is pretty much is going back and putting all the work worth for to have a fulfilling life, or should I put my focus somewhere else? So when I really get down to the bottom of it, it's like it could be, but do I want that? And then I think, okay, no, I right now I want something else. And so right now, and or right now I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that. Although a lot of people keep telling me this is a time where you should go back to school because you don't have a boyfriend, you don't have a husband, you don't have kids. You really can move on your own.
Yeah.
And for example, for my second job, there's a great need for therapists, especially bilingual therapists. So she, my supervisor, she's been telling me go back to school. Like you can get it in 2 years. We have a need for bilingual therapists and clinical therapists, and they earn really good money. I think they pay me like $2. They would pay me on top of the flat rate. They would pay me $2 more just for speaking Spanish. So it's like, should I? And so that is kind of like, man, I would be doing it for the money.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the right attitude. I want to help people. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
I should push myself more to grow that passion to help others, so I can go back to school. So when I start thinking about it, it lessens the blow, and then now it becomes a me situation. Now it's like, okay, do I want that? Should I do it? And then on the other end, when it's about relationships, I think I said it before. I try to think of, okay, it's God's timing.
Yeah.
It's God's timing. I've been doing what I need to do. I've been putting, I said it. I've been putting myself out there, but that sounds really like here I am, and I haven't. That goes against my character, but I have been, I have been purposeful in going out more often and hanging out with, those
Putting yourself up.
Yeah, exactly, and not being close to the idea. I think a couple of years ago I was close to the idea. I was really like, no, I'm not there yet, whatever. And right now it's just like, no, if it happens, I'm happy to welcome it. I think probably 2 years ago, I would say, or 3 years ago, I was very like, no, if it didn't happen, that's a good thing because I'm not ready, whatever. And I figured out you're never going to be fully ready.
Yeah.
So if it happens, I'm willing to embrace it, and I want to, because I yearn for it, Yeah. But again, I don't think I yearn for it to the point of desperation, to the point of like, I'm going to do online dating and apps.
He just has to be breathing.
Yeah, he just has to, like that one meme where you lower your expectations. I can read for the both of us, like, no, I don't think I'm there yet. Hopefully I won't get there. But I know God has, my best interest is in God's hands. Yeah. I know that for a fact. And so while I'm putting it on his hands or leaving it on his hands, I'm also working for it. I'm also, I'm praying for it. I'm praying for whenever I encounter a situation, and for it to be God's timing and God's person. And at the same time, I'm working on myself. Am I that person that will attract what I want?
Yeah.
Am I that do I have it in me to be that wife that would deserve the husband I want?
Yeah.
So I think while that's happening, I'm trying to learn how to cook. I'm trying to learn how to be poised and how to be wise. And so, I think it's not about finding the perfect person. I think it's about trying to become the perfect person to attract that one person.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I deal with social media. But I think before we finish, or as we get to our finish line, I would like to ask one more question. Do you have any plans of lessening the time you spend on social media? Or rather, have you tried and has it worked?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Every year we have a 21-day Daniel fast. And basically it's where you abstain from a lot of things that you're putting a lot of time in, but it's not you being productive, or you could be putting more time in your relationship with God. So yeah, I remember that when we did that fast, you know, like you and I came out of it very much like, wow, I don't need social media. It's not important. I only went like for 5 minutes and I didn't even care, and honestly, and I do think it's healthy to walk away from Instagram or social media every now and then. I don't think that it should dominate your life. Now, I'm gonna be real. Yes, it does take a good portion of my day, and I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud that a lot of the times, like I was, as far as damaging, some of the things that I do think that I have to work on is if I'm having a bad day, or if I'm having, a particular emotion that's not pleasant, I won't sit with that emotion. I will go to social media to numb it out in a way, because I don't want to deal with the negative. I don't want to deal with the sadness or whatever bad is going on in my day. So I'm going to drown it out in memes, because I know that's going to make me feel better, and I'll just go to bed. But then, I've read this where, a lot of mindless scrolling actually causes, or it actually helps people who have problems with depression. And I agree with that, because what we do sometimes is that we numb out, or we drown out what we need to sit in for a little bit and process and deal with, and then know how to cope with the problems on our own without having to use this source it's not really a good help. It's superficial, right?
Yeah.
And so I definitely think that when I start catching myself, and that's why I was saying, like, subconsciously I'll catch myself of like, you just went through 6 different emotions really quickly. Is that really healthy? Is that really something that, you should be feeding into? I'll try to walk away. I'll try to be like, all right, I need a break, and like I said, it's a work in progress. Like right now, this second, like, I am pretty sure, like, I already, like, sent you, like, 15 memes. And I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think that they're fun. I think that, I think people are hilarious. I think it's good to laugh. I just think it's really a matter of how much time you put in. I mean,
Right.
The Bible talks about, idols all the time, and we always think that idols is like a god or like a little diosito aquí, and it's like, it's not. It's anything that is more exciting to me than God is an idol. And that could be yourself, that could be your husband, that could
family.
be social media, it could be anything that you're like, I would rather be here than doing anything else. And I do think that that's damaging. I think that definitely is something that I need to work on. So to answer your question, yes, I do think that maybe after this wonderful podcast, I'll be convicted to spend a little bit less time on Instagram this week.
And by little bit, she means 5 minutes less.
Yeah, no, hey, that's progress. That's
you start
progress.
somewhere. You start somewhere.
One of the things that I definitely think that I have been working on, though, believe it or not, I'm not just saying it for the podcast, is I don't want the first thing that I do in the morning is to grab my phone. Now that sometimes the first thing I do that I grab my phone is, what did Lula send me? Or, what did my husband send me, right? And I see those memes. Or it's like, let me go on Snapchat and see trash news, because they have a headline of something that's like actually informational. And then the second headline is like something like fun or whatever. And there you go. Like, you're drowning out the reality of what's going on with like, oh,
funny
so-and-so, like
celebrity gossip.
Yeah, or like someone ate a pie and it gave them, I don't know, $1,000 because they ate it in I don't know how many seconds. So like, to me, it's like nonsensical things drowns out reality, and I don't think that's always a good thing.
Right.
But yes, I've definitely been trying to work on that. The first thing that I do is, good morning, baby. But also, like, let me take a few minutes and just be grateful that I woke up, you know, and maybe later on in the day I'll respond to Lula. But what about you? Do you think that you're going to work on how much time you spend on Instagram or anything, or do you think you don't have a problem?
No, oh no, I do have a problem. I do have a problem. Especially, you know how I know I have a problem? When I send memes to people that never reply to them. Because I'm thinking, this person must be thinking, dude, like, are you on Instagram the whole day?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes. So yeah, that's definitely when I find myself thinking, man, why do I even send memes to this person? Like, you know, they're obviously
but
not
internally
on
you're
Instagram.
like, it's so funny, I want you to laugh too.
Exactly. Or this reminded me of you, so let me share it, you know. But yeah, I would like to work on that. I think what you're doing is a good thing. I try to do that at night as well. I try to, before going to bed, because I would do this, so I would pray and then be on Instagram until sleep would follow me. And you know, and to me it was like, that already invalidated my prayer. Like, why, you know? So I think I started doing the opposite. I was like, okay, done. I'm done with Instagram. Let's do prayer, and then I'll stay there until sleep falls on me, or sleep comes. Not doing anything, just looking at the ceiling or thinking or whatever.
Which, believe it, studies have proven that if you're on social media right before bed, it steals part of your REM sleep.
Yeah.
Because your brain is mindlessly trying to, like, what you just saw.
And so I am trying to do that, and I've been fairly good this past 3 weeks. I've been very good of, like, okay, I'll put my phone on silent mode, and I don't hear any notifications.
You don't hear me.
I don't hear you. And then I'll pray, and then I'll go to sleep, you know, thinking of or rather, I'll go to sleep while processing things during the day, while processing emotions and how do I feel, and maybe because of what I'm going through that only people close to me know. That's why I'm like, okay, you know, I need to really think this through. But the other one, I do have a harder time with not looking for my phone as soon as I wake up. Yeah. That one, I would say I fail at that more often than not. I would like to get better at that. I think to me it's just a quick, like, glance and okay, and then Padre bendito, gracias por este día. and it's bad. It's bad. I would say it's bad, but I would like to change that, and I will. I you know.
We gotta do another 21-day fast.
Yeah, we gotta do another 21-day fast. And for our listeners, if you think you have, what I've been also trying to do lately is I've been trying to pick up hobbies.
I saw you painted.
Yeah,
I saw because you posted it.
Exactly. I did it for the gram. No. I'm trying again because of a lot of things, a lot of emotions I've been feeling lately, and a lot of thoughts. And the way I process things is through hobbies. So one of my hobbies is painting, and I've been trying to enjoy watercolor painting, and I think I've been putting a lot of time in that. I'll probably sometime bring some of my art, my abstract art. Don't expect much. And then I've been trying to pick up embroidery.
Square.
Yeah. And what do you see in there? The meaning of this.
What does it mean?
And I've been trying to pick up embroidery again. So those are the two things that I'm trying to put my attention to, and then take a picture and post it. But no, so yeah, guys. To you, our listeners, thank you for listening to us.
No, social media is not bad, but just be conscious.
Yeah.
Your effects.
Be as conscious as we are. And, you know, I guess what we're trying to say with this is, if you ever find yourself feeling pressure, remind yourself that, you know, sometimes it's just manufactured lives, manufactured truths and realities.
If you have a great boyfriend or a husband,
appreciate
them, man.
They just want to feel appreciated. Appreciate them, and don't compare. I think it sounds hard to say to not compare, because it's very difficult.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to not do it. But think of all the good things. Think of all the good things. Think of all the think of what you do as well.
Try to find the positive in where you are in your season. That's another thing. Like, you may not be in a relationship, you may not have that baby, you may not have that house, whatever it is that you're yearning or pining over. Like, there's still something that you're dealing with or going through or have that you probably didn't have 5 years ago that you're probably taking for granted, and so definitely try to find the positive in your season.
Yes. And give more time to God. Give more time to your prayer in the mornings and then at night. And
try to change with us.
Yeah, let's go on a journey together, guys. Because I think it's very important to realize that a lot of the times, if you think about it, one of the reasons why we let comparison overtake us is because we're not strong in what we believe, but it's not happening. We're not strong in our faith, in that conviction of the things are going to happen. I just don't see it right now. I just don't feel it right now. But I know God is working. And I'm not talking about like, because God is just a God that will give me whatever I want. No, I'm talking about a God, because a God is a God that gives good to his people, to those that seek him, that respect him and adore him. He's faithful. We are not. He is. So, I'm not talking about, oh my God, I just want God to give me that house of my dreams. No. I'm talking about, I thank you, God. Thank you for, letting me wake up. Thank you for letting me see my loved ones. Thank you for letting my loved ones see me as well, and for our health and everything. And hey, whatever else is just an add-on. Whatever else, like that relationship that I'm yearning, that's an add-on from you. That's another, es una bendición, and on top of all the other blessings you've given me. That baby that I'm yearning for as well. I mean, in order to have a baby, you probably need to have another person, right? So, that's an add-on. So, definitely, let's have our priorities in check. That's a thing. Let's have our priorities in check. And ¿quién va a ser el primero? God. He has to be.
Yeah.
Right. So with that, we'll end with a prayer. This one will end with a prayer. A prayer over us, over you. So,
Father God, we come before you, Lord, and we thank you for this conversation that we had to talk about the realities and the comparisons of social media, Lord. I pray that you help us to see in what areas we are putting social media or other things more of a priority than our relationship with you. I ask you that you help those that are currently struggling with comparison, Lord. If there's someone that's listening that has been struggling with body image issues, with depression, with suicidal thoughts due to social media, God, I pray that through this podcast that they can be reminded that a lot of the things that we see is manufactured, God. A lot of the things that we see is not real. That we could find the blessings that you are constantly giving us in our lives, in our days, with our families, in this season, God. I pray that you help us, Lord Jesus, to find the fun and the enjoyment in this thing that we've been using, but also to understand that we have to put some boundaries and some lines of resistance to these things, Lord. I pray blessings over us. I pray that you give us the strength and hopefully the consistency to follow through in this journey and trying to limit the time that we spend on social media. And I thank you again for this podcast, that as we grow and we connect with our listeners, that we can get closer to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Catch you guys next time.
Bye, guys.